And hello again. Yes, we are continuing the series, but I've decided to break it up into more digestible parts because this is the passive is, as I mentioned in the first video, for all of you Nintendo fans out there, I know I was in the 80s. I love Super Mario Brothers, and I love the fact that there was a daylight world and a nighttime world, right? The underground world. In fact, it's now during Thanksgiving. I got a little Nintendo, and I'm kind of interested in playing it a little bit. Maybe later on tonight I'll do that to unwind. Anyway, there are two worlds in verb tenses. There's the active world, and then there's the passive world. Okay, and many times, for all English learners, you get to a point where you have to start making conversions, right? You have to start making conversions to show that you understand what's being said in a sentence, whether it be on a test, whether it be on an exam, whether it be just speaking, whether it be just listening to what other people are saying. If you don't have familiarity with these structures, it's very difficult to understand what it is that you might be reading or listening to. So it's good for you as a student to learn how to manipulate them so that when you do encounter them again, you know exactly what you're dealing with. All right, so that's the purpose of these videos. So today, we're looking at the conversion of the active to the passive of the perfect simple tenses, okay? We're going to go present, past, and then future. So, without any further ado, let's start with the present perfect. In my active sentence, I have this sentence. COVID has affected the world since the autumn of 2019. Okay? COVID has affected the world since the autumn of 2019. Now, my subject is COVID. My verb is has affected. What is the object? The object is the world. So, again, we take the world, we put it into the subject position. The world, present perfect of the verb to be, has been. The world has been. Now we take the past participle of the verb affect, which is the main verb, affected. The world has been affected by COVID since the autumn of 2019. I leave in here by COVID. Why? It's important. I mean, if we're living in this day and age now, and you say the world has been affected since the autumn of 2019, everybody knows what you're talking about. But let's say you watch this video 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You won't know what I'm talking about, or maybe you will, but maybe you won't. So in this case, it's sort of important. It's not as important as the fact that the world is being affected so heavily, but it is important to note that it is by COVID. So sometimes the by is necessary, or at least it gives you an added piece of information that helps you understand the sentence better. At least helps you put the sentence into the correct place in your mind and in history, in the past, okay? So, now we're going to look at the past perfect. Now for my example is in the active sentence, the past perfect, an example could be, the Phoenicians had founded Cadiz more than 3,000 years ago. Now, if you don't know, Cadiz is the oldest continuously inhabited city in Europe. It has got over 3,000 years of history, and that's just happens to be where I live. The oldest accounts of the founding of Cadiz were by the Phoenicians, like before Christ. We're talking about, I guess, biblical times, History lesson aside, let's break down the grammar. What is the subject? The Phoenicians. What is the verb? Had founded. Okay, so we know that that's in the past perfect. What is the object? Cadiz. So we want to take Cadiz, which is the object, and put that into the subject position. Now, Cadiz is our subject. We need to put to the verb to be to agree with third person singular, which is Cadiz. Had been, correct? Because it's past perfect. And then we take the main verb, and we use the past participle. Founded. Cádiz had been founded by the Phoenicians more than 3,000 years ago. Again, in this sentence, I'm keeping by the Phoenicians. It's important. It gives extra information. It is necessary. What I want to do in this sentence is to draw attention to the fact that Cádiz has been founded. There is our passive sentence. Cádiz had been founded by the Phoenicians more than 3,000 years ago. Is it necessary? Can I take out by the Phoenicians? Of course. Of course I can. If I just want to say Cádiz had been founded 3,000 years ago, that's perfectly fine. I'm simply drawing attention to the age of the city. So that is how we convert the past perfect from active to passive. All right. So getting back into the future perfect. In our active sentence, we see, in 2 years' time, we will have overcome the pandemic. Our active sentence in the future perfect has the form will plus have plus past participle. That is the future perfect. Okay. What is the subject in our active sentence? We. What is the verb? Will have overcome. What is the object? The pandemic. So in the passive sentence, we put the object in the subject position. The pandemic. Now, we need to make the verb to be have the same tense as a future perfect. What is the future perfect of the verb to be? Will have been, right? Okay. And then we need to add on the main verb in the past participle. Overcome. So our new sentence in the passive reads, in 2 years' time, the pandemic will have been overcome. Okay. That does it for the explanation part of this video on the perfect simple tenses, changing them from active to passive. Don't forget to take a look at the example practice exercises at the end of this video to test your knowledge about what we've talked about and see how well you've understood it and see how well you can put it into practice. As always, if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy watching videos of this type, you can always show your support by subscribing. And if you would like to see more videos of this kind, don't forget to hit that notifications bell. Alright, so that does it for the perfect simples. Stay tuned for the exercise activities. See you later. Bye-bye.